Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Representative Joe Sempolinski has been officially sworn in as the newest member of Congress. Big Fox's Maggie Hall spoke with him about his plans as he represents New York's 23rd District.
For the first time since May 2022, the Southern Tier's 23rd Congressional District has a sitting congressman. Representative Joe Sempolinski was sworn in Washington, D.C. yesterday.
Congratulations, you are now members of the 117th.
It's a real honor. The people of 23rd District now have a voice once again in Washington, D.C., as is their right. And to be that voice is a very humbling experience.
The congressman reflected on what it was like being surrounded by his family and fellow colleagues for the first time on the House floor.
Well, I was very pleased my family was with me. My parents were there, my wife, my daughters. To have them be received so warmly by both the Republican and Democrat sides of the aisle when I expressed my feeling toward them was a real powerful moment for me personally.
The congressman and I spoke about his involvement with the Labor and the Education Committee. We also spoke about what he's focusing on for this term.
The other committee that I'm on is the Budget Committee, and then making sure that we're just looking for any opportunities to make sure that the voices and priorities of the people of our districts are heard. So I'll be, meeting with major employers in the district. I'll be meeting with different community organizations. I'm going to spend time when I'm back home in New York being out and about, listening to people and making sure that I'm taking their ideas back to Washington.
The brand new congressman filled the seat vacated by former Representative Tom Reed. His term will last for 4 months. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Southern Tier.
A Woodhull man in jail today on charges of attempted murder. Justin Zeh arrested by New York State Police yesterday in the town of Addison. Police say Zeh fired multiple rounds at another person. That person is reported to have taken off from that scene in the town of Rathbone unharmed. Zeh is currently being held at the Steuben County Jail. All New York households that participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program will receive maximum benefits for the month of September. These benefits will amount to roughly $234 million invested into the program. Governor Hochul stated that the decision was made to help struggling families make ends meet and put food on the table. She says the extra boost in benefits will ensure thousands of families in New York will avoid facing food insecurity. For more information about the SNAP program, you can visit the website on your screen. New Yorkers who have unpaid tolls may have their registrations suspended. The New York State Thruway Authority has reported more than $60 million in unpaid tolls since 2018. The Thruway Authority has now issued a policy that any driver who does not pay their bill will receive 4 late fee notices. If the bill is still not paid, the driver will be referred to the DMV to have their registration suspended. Corning's Gaffer District will celebrate fall this weekend. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg spoke with the Harvest Festival director about this year's event.
Corning's Gaffer District is getting ready to celebrate the change in seasons once again. The Harvest Festival is back again this year. The streets of Corning will be filled with live music, vendors, and activities in one of the town's biggest celebrations of the year.
We started the event because we wanted to be able to capture the wonderful time of year that it is and to be able to showcase our businesses and our downtown in an event that was all about celebrating the best of the season.
This year's festival is expected to be bigger now that more and more people are getting out and enjoying events like the Harvest Festival once again.
Well, if you compare it to previous years, especially the past couple of years, last year we had people coming back to our events, but we have seen this year that people are definitely back. And they are really cherishing every opportunity to shop local and make memories in this beautiful community.
The festival will feature activities such as carriage rides, magic shows, scarecrow contests, scavenger hunts, a tractor show, and of course plenty of music and vendors as well as the Gaffer District's local shops.
And it really doesn't matter what your age or interest is, you can find something to enjoy in this downtown. And it's just such a beautiful time of year. and the weather is supposed to be pretty spectacular.
Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Corning.
Do you have sensitive documents or mountains of files you'd like shredded? The Chemung Canal Trust Company will host a free shredding event on Saturday, September 17th. The event will be from 1 to 3 at the Trust Company's main office in Elmira. Additional shredding events will take place at the offices in Waverly, Bath, and Horseheads in the coming weeks. Tuesday was a rough day for the stock market, the worst since 2020. Despite the negative news, President Biden believes the economy is still strong. But there is a potential railroad strike that has the administration on alert. Griff Jenkins has more from Washington.
Fear gripping investors on Wall Street a day after the Dow fell more than 1,200 points. Tuesday's inflation report came in hotter than expected, with prices rising 8.3% compared to last year. However, wholesale prices on goods and services did see some cooling off thanks to lower gas prices. Still, economists are worried high prices will persist for the rest of the year.
These are the daily household budget items that are hurting American families the worst. They're continuing to go up. They're staying up. There's no indication they're going to come down.
To get a handle on things, the Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates next week. Many worry their aggressive actions will lead to higher unemployment and slower growth.
I don't see how we avoid a recession in 2023.
President Biden doesn't appear to be as concerned as some economists are. He's traveling to Michigan today for a stop at the Detroit Auto Show.
The economy's still strong, unemployment's low, jobs are up, manufacturing's good, so I think we're going to be fine.
Meanwhile, there's growing concern about a nationwide railroad strike. Such a move would cause massive supply chain disruptions.
We're terribly concerned what will happen between now and Friday.
White House officials are meeting with railroad and union officials in hopes of reaching an agreement. Already, some long-distance routes have been canceled. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Social Security checks could see their biggest bump in 40 years. This as payments are expected to be adjusted to coincide with inflation. The Senior Citizen League advocacy group says checks next year would help make up for funds this year that haven't kept up with inflation. In the biggest boost since 1982, that would amount to about an extra $144 a month in 2023 for the average retiree who received $1,656 monthly this year. It would mean the typical check received would land at about $1,800. Your complete forecast is next. Plus, a look at the impacts of the national teacher shortage and some possible solutions garnering some strong, mixed opinions. Stay with us.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, the rainy and gloomy weather pattern that started off this week is starting to diminish, but we are going to see some impacts that will move in through the overnight. Now, we did see about a half an inch of accumulation in Elmira, and even just across the area, there were some isolated locations that were upwards of an inch to even 2 inches possible, but generally at least a quarter of an inch to an inch is what we were able to accumulate. So a good dosing of some rainfall. It's good to see some of this moisture before we head into these cooler months, and cooler is going to be the key word here over the next few days. Now, through the overnight, we'll see that we'll have some strengthening conditions out of the northwest. Winds shouldn't be too strong, but it is going to push out any lingering showers as well as push out some of that cloud cover. So we'll have some cooler conditions by tomorrow morning, as well as the potential of maybe some isolated misting and some fog cover as we'll drop down to about 49 degrees in Elmira to 47 into Corning. Now, it is going to be even cooler by Friday morning, so keep an eye on these lows as we're really going to feel more fall-like here as we step into our Thursday forecast. There will will be continuous chances for some of that patchy fog, especially morning hours and overnight hours. And there could be some of that higher elevation frost potential as well, as we are going to see some temperatures really drop off into Friday morning. But gradual warming will take hold as we step into our Friday. We'll even be back into the 80s as early as Saturday, but we'll also talk about some more showery weather that could return as early as Sunday, but at least take us into early portions of next week. But trending into our fall, like Thursday, we'll see some of that morning cloud cover and fog cover continue to diminish as we drop into those 40s and then return back into those 60s. And that's all that we're going to climb to is that 60-degree threshold with a high of about 64 into Elmira, to 64 into Wayland, to 64 into Westfield. Now, average is about 75 for this time of the year, so we're looking at upwards of anywhere about 5 to 10 degrees below average across the area. But what does that mean compared to average? Where would we be if our average was 67? Well, we would be in early October as we see that our average high temperature falls to 67 degrees on October 4th. And talking about averages, we end off the month of October at an average of 55 degrees. And then by November 24th, which is Thanksgiving, we see that our average falls to 45 degrees. So we are on that trend that we're going to significantly lose these average temperatures. Now, we don't always hold the average, as we will be back towards that average of 75 degrees as we step into our Friday forecast with a high of 76. So good turnaround here as we still have a good amount of daylight that we still see as we step into the afternoon hours here. Now we're losing that, and that's why we watch those average temperatures fall as we step into those winter months. But note that we have a high of 76 degrees on Friday. Look at where we're going to start Friday morning, though. 41 degrees. So make sure to grab yourself some warm coffee the next few days, but then we'll climb back up to those 80s as early as Saturday. Some cloud cover increase possible, but still going to see some very pleasant conditions, and we'll hold into the 80s even under some of that showery weather as we head into early next week. But it should just be a stray shower on Sunday with a more likely chance for some showers to push through on Monday.
Well, it's shaping up to be quite an interesting school year as ongoing teacher shortages continue straining districts nationwide. Jackie Ibanez has more on which areas are experiencing some of the toughest challenges, plus a look at a controversial strategy hoping to provide some relief.
Good morning, everyone. So excited to see you.
Back to school season may be in full swing.
It is a nightmare.
But districts across the country are still grappling with ongoing teacher shortages, fueled in part by the pandemic and its aftermath.
The shortage in Florida is due to several factors. Many of them are happening across the country, such as lack of adequate salaries, lack of support, cost of living.
Educators say staffing gaps are also due to districts being unable to hire enough qualified employees fast enough, with fields like special ed and bilingual education especially impacted.
Those students need small group instruction so that their individual needs can be met.
While the problems stem nationwide, schools in the South are predominantly feeling the pinch, leaving some states to implement a variety of solutions. In Florida, Republican Governor Ron DeSantis recently signed into law the Military Veterans Certification Pathway Program, letting veterans with no prior experience teach in the classroom.
I think that there's veterans out there that can be in the classroom and make an immediate impact. Absolutely.
Veterans can achieve a temporary 5-year teaching certificate if they've served a minimum of 48 months of active duty, have at least 60 college credits, and a minimum 2.5 GPA, as well as clear a background check and pass a Florida State subject area exam. Opponents call the move worrisome, citing how teaching is more than just having a love for kids. It requires several years of critical training.
A new survey suggests test taking may be harming some students' mental health. A study and learning company Quizlet conducted the survey. 1,000 Gen Z students participated, and the survey found that 86% of Gen Z students say they have experienced test taking anxiety. The survey says 3/4 say they felt anxious in the last 6 months. More than 40% say they are concerned that their academic futures will be negatively impacted. An autonomous truck company called Waymo donated its services to an Arizona-based food bank. This gave the organization the opportunity to cut delivery costs and focus on what they do best, feeding those in need. Danielle Miller has more on this story.
In June, St. Mary's Food Bank accepted a generous donation from Waymo. The company offered its trucking services for free to haul food. The deliveries all being done with its autonomous semi-trucks.
So this load here will be going to the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona, which is in Tucson, one of our sister food banks. And so it hauls the bread down. It's more than 22,000 pounds worth of bread. And that hauls it down. It saves us from having a driver, saves us fuel, saves us truck.
President and CEO of St. Mary's Food Bank, Tom Curtis, says this donation couldn't have come at a better time, with gas prices being what they are and a shortage of truck drivers.
Over the course of time, it's saving us thousands of dollars, which allow us to use those resources to do other things here and help other people in our community. So it's really making a big difference for us.
The deliveries are being made once a month. Curtis is hoping that will increase.
At each direction, so just from here to Tucson, it's probably cost about $800 to run this truck down, and so that saves us a lot of money.
Still ahead, Twitter shareholders vote to approve Elon Musk's $44 billion takeover bid, and South Korea hits Google and Meta with a fine. Those stories and more coming up. Twitter shareholders vote to approve Elon Musk's takeover bid. South Korea hits Google and Meta with a fine. Coffee shop sales are picking up, and Dollywood is bringing home the gold. CJ Papa has today's business briefs.
Twitter shareholders have approved Elon Musk's $44 billion takeover bid just weeks before the company's trial against Musk to force the sale. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. The billionaire made the offer back in April before alleging Twitter's user base was made up of more bot accounts than the company claimed. Regulators in South Korea are imposing fines of more than $70 million against Alphabet's Google and Facebook's parent company Meta over alleged digital privacy violations. They're accused of collecting and using personal information without users' consent for advertising and other purposes. Both companies deny the allegations. Well, coffee shops are seeing business pick up, almost matching pre-pandemic levels. Reuters says sales by branded coffee shops in the U.S. increased 10% in the year ending this June. And Dollywood staff is receiving high praise for working 9 to 5. Dolly Parton's iconic theme park receiving several awards from Amusement Today magazine. Dollywood earning 3 golden tickets for having the best kids area, best guest experience, and Best Christmas Event of 2021. A country music queen herself humbly accepting the honor, saying, quote, "We're proud of the recognition we receive because it means we're doing well at what we want to do. Take care of the great folks who come to visit our park." That's business. I'm CJ Papa.
Well, online dating is becoming more popular, and while some are meeting their perfect matches, others are losing money in romance scams. A report by the Wall Street Journal says about $1.3 billion in romance-related fraud was committed from 2017 to 2021. One dating fraud expert says scammers create false identities and quickly share ones may be a sign that it's fake. Online dating scammers may meet their victims, then present stories that result in victims giving money to help. Older women are often the victims, and experts recommend tighter authentication and monitoring of compliance for dating sites. Companies that display a royal symbol on their packaging may have to stop using it after the death of Queen Elizabeth II. To endorse companies that regularly supply their products or services to the royal family, the Queen granted them a royal warrant. The warrant allowed these companies to display the royal coat of arms. That's a symbol that identifies the person who is head of state. During her 70 years on the British throne, the Queen issued more than 600 royal warrants. That's according to the Royal Warrant Holders Association. But the warrants became void when the Queen died. The Royal Warrant Holders Association says the companies will now have up to 2 years to either reapply to use the royal coat of arms or remove it altogether from their packaging and advertising. A U.S. baby formula maker says he believes the formula shortage will improve by next month. Some good news there. Gerber CEO Taryn Malkani says more baby formula supplies should be in the market by October, easing critical shortages. Gerber says it's still in critical task force mode in production. Other retailers like Walmart and Target say they've also seen more formula availability. Target says it's still rationing products online and in stores. Food prices continuing to soar. The Consumer Price Index report shows food was 11.4% more expensive in August compared to the same time a year ago. That's the highest increase since 1979. Egg prices rose 39.8%. That's the largest increase. Rice, margarine, bread, chicken, milk, and potatoes also got more expensive. Baby food prices went up 12.6%. As more companies have brought workers back into company locations, many workers are seeing lots of quiet quitting. Business experts say quiet quitting is happening at work, meaning workers are doing less work but getting the same pay. Workers are readjusting to work environments and are intentionally disengaging. A Gallup poll of 8,000 workers found that 60% of fully remote workers will look for a new job if work didn't offer at least partial remote options. Experts say if you are a quiet quitter, you risk your current job, possibly in a quiet firing or a layoff. Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. Well, we want to leave you tonight with something sweet on your mind. How's that sound? Check this out. Gingerbread fans rejoice. Coffee Mate is bringing back its frosted gingerbread creamer. The sweet frosting and spicy gingerbread flavored creamer is returning after Coffee Mate fans last year were allowed to help choose a seasonal throwback flavor to return this year. With more than half voting for frosted gingerbread, the frosted gingerbread creamer will be available exclusively through a giveaway that runs until September 21st. I'm Harriet Wallace. Thanks so much for watching.